Hi, this is Rainbow Harmony, here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And this is a pick a card reading called Mercury Retrograde, What is in it for you? So, if you haven't already noticed it yet, we are in the middle of yet another blessed Mercury retrograde, a cycle that happens a couple times a year. And this is when the planet Mercury appears in the sky to be moving backwards. Okay, so Mercury rules communication, and so this can cause some really interesting things to happen. During Mercury retrograde, we feel more connected with the past, so energies from the past come up. Sometimes there's a lot of tears, there's a lot of stress, or there could be chaos. Communication breakdowns or fights with your loved ones or quarrels. There can also be issues with like technology, just like random stuff starts to fall apart. For instance, my downstairs bathroom flooded and I had to call a plumber. There could be problems with your internet, your car could break down. Sometimes you end up having to do things twice, like you leave your house and you get to the grocery store and realize you forgot your wallet. You gotta come all the way back home and do it again. Like you gotta do things twice. So it can be really frustrating, and like just things start happening that are just like out of your control. And so it can be a really horrible time. Sometimes it just feels like the world or the universe is against you. You know, people's exes come back. You might be thinking about people or things from the past. Things and traumas that you thought you were over and that you healed from can rear its head again. Sometimes health issues come up during this time, and so it's a lot of fun. You know, it's just a really intense time. Plans get thwarted, and it's it's chaotic. It feels almost like in the tarot, you know, the Tower card. It feels like the Tower moment. Everything feels like it's falling apart or going up in flames. I think the cool thing about Mercury retrograde is I always feel like it kind of levels out the playing field. It just takes all the obstacles away. It actually brings all the obstacles to your attention so you can confront them. And the best part about Mercury retrograde is when it's finally over and you get to glean your harvest from this time. You are able to take the lessons and the blessings and move forward. I always get so blessed after Mercury retrograde. I feel like a couple weeks to a month after it ends, I always end up getting really cool opportunities. I always feel way more in touch with myself. It's awesome. This energy is also really good for certain things. They always say during Mercury retrograde, anything that has like a an R-E in front of it is really good to do during this time, like refocus, replan, re-strategize, reconnect. Like these are all good things to do during this time. But what we're gonna do in this reading today is we're just gonna see how this energy cycle is affecting you and like what's in it for you. Like what will you gain? Like what are the treasures? What are the rewards or the blessings that are gonna come about and maybe just helping you through it? This is gonna be a really informal reading. I'm just gonna straight up draw some cards, and then at the end, I'm gonna pull a card from my new deck and straight up just read to you from the guidebook. Because I don't know this deck yet, but I've been loving the messages that have been coming from it. So we'll do that too. So I just have two choices for you here today. You can choose a number or a crystal you feel drawn to the most. Then we can get you your message, okay? So we've got number 1, the rose quartz crystal. And number 2, the crystal ball. So choose which crystal you are drawn to the most, and we will get you your message. So for those of you guys who choose number 1, the rose quartz, let's go ahead and just draw some cards and just see what is going on this Mercury retrograde cycle for you. What's going down? Haha, we're getting the Tower card. I just mentioned that. All right, I want to get the big picture here, so just give me a moment. You know it's Mercury retrograde when you're getting cards like this. Okay, so yeah, I mean, a lot is going down here. The first card I'm feeling drawn to is this mourning card. It's like right now you're experiencing some type of loss, or you're reconnecting with an energy of loss. Like somebody has passed away, or maybe you've been through a breakup, or there's some type of trauma that you're going through. And so it's just a lot of tears, it's a lot of crying, it's a lot of pain, it's a lot of anxiety. And it's like you're trying to handle this and you're going through like a grieving process while Mercury retrograde is happening, while random things are happening that are just out of your control, while still trying to go to work and, you know, get your money and your coin and provide and survive. And it's like you're exhausted. And so this is you know, you're really needing rest right now. You're really needing rest. You're really needing rejuvenation. It's just, this is like a physical energy that's affecting you. It's like an energy of exhaustion. I also feel like you're feeling very alone right now. This is a positive message about being on your own path, but just feeling kind of alone. Something is definitely happening around you that's causing old systems and old ways of you like approaching your life, old belief systems, old perceptions to just crumble. I'm getting this message like the way that you've been approaching life and doing everything is not working for you anymore, and a big change is coming about as a result of this. You're basically being called to a new path. It's a very positive thing because I feel like the universe, like, it's not taking anything away from you. In fact, it's giving everything to you. It just doesn't really feel like it right now. It reminds me of like in the winter when the trees are shedding their leaves and everything just kind of freezes and lies dormant and starts to kind of like all the plants and the earth really conserves its energy and almost like goes to sleep and like rests and gets ready for the spring, because in spring everything grows and rejuvenates and heals and blossoms, and it's like this rebirth and expansion and everything's blooming and blossoming and growing. You're going through a cycle like that too. We are all part of nature. None of us are immune to these energies on this planet. And so it's like you're getting ready for a big transformation. The universe is coming in and is leveling out your playing field to give you a blank slate to help you create space upon which you can think of a new plan or a new dream or a new vision and work towards that. So on the other side of this, you're gonna start feeling a lot more creative, like a new bright idea is coming to you. But it just hasn't come yet. So all of this just feels like everything's falling apart. You feel caught in a web, you feel stuck, like you can't move forward. And just know that, like, keep things simple right now. Maybe you aren't supposed to move forward. Maybe you're just supposed to rest. Maybe you're just supposed to be perceptive. Maybe you're just supposed to be open to the great mystery right now. But expect everything to change in the best way for you. Maybe all of this is the process of what you've asked for coming to you. I have a question for you. Have you tried to manifest anything like in the past year or two? Have you written down your dreams, or have you had a big goal or big vision? Oftentimes when we pray or we wish or we dream or we fantasize or we set an intention or a goal, the universe will come and will bring it to us. But the process of us getting what we asked for isn't always as perfect and as we thought. And it can sometimes appear like everything's falling away, but really space is just being cleared for what we asked for to come in. I've told this story a lot on my channel, but this kind of energy always reminds me of this one Mercury retrograde cycle I went through a couple years ago when I was living in Los Angeles with my husband. At the time, I was learning about the law of attraction. I was like writing down my manifestations. I really wanted to like leave my 9-to-5 job, and I wanted to travel the world and be a digital nomad and like start my own business. This is before Rainbow Harmony. This is before all this, my life kind of changed. And something happened one week in the middle of a Mercury retrograde cycle where my husband got in a car accident. And at the time he was a driver. And so he lost his job, our main source of income. Because of that, we couldn't afford our apartment, and like it would happen so fast, and like rent was due, and we had just like a little bit of savings, and we had a choice. Do we pay rent and do we try to just survive, or do we leave the city and just kind of like regroup and start over? And so, and at the same time, then my bird died. Like my little baby, my bird died in the same week. And so like lost our job, lost the apartment, our bird died. Didn't know what the heck to do. So it was awful. We moved back to the suburbs where we came from. We had worked years to move to the city and get in the position we were in, and then we had to start all over. Everything fell apart. We were so sad. We were exhausted, emotionally drained. But then we were able to reapproach our situation. We ultimately ended up getting another place, different jobs, and everything aligned for us to be able to work towards our goal of traveling the world. And about 2 years later, we were able to travel the world. And here I am. I've been traveling now for a couple years. Everything is so much better. My husband started a business. I started a business. Our businesses started to grow and thrive and support us. And none of that would have been able to happen unless we had gotten that big shock and were able to make a different choice. So sometimes these crazy situations come in our life to kind of wake us up and to help us change our perception, or to clear energy out, or to move us in a certain direction. So don't judge the situation. Tell yourself, there's got to be something in this for me. There's got to be something in this for me. And remind yourself, everything is not what it appears to be right now. With Mercury retrograde, everything appears as if it's moving backwards, as if it's falling apart, and horrible things could be happening. You could be experiencing loss, or going through a depression or something, or exhausted, or medical condition, whatever it is, but there's got to be something in this for you. Now, it's important to be present with your situation. If you are sad, if you've gone through a loss, if something crazy happens, if you get laid off your job, if your car breaks down, if you're going through big financial strain right now, or something's happening in the family, or whatever it is, allow yourself to cry, allow yourself to mourn, allow yourself to be angry, allow yourself to just express yourself in a healthy way, however you need to express yourself, write in your journal, make art, allow this to pass. You don't gotta just be just be positive, the universe is gonna help me, maybe my dream is coming. I'm not saying that at all. Just be human, be normal. Don't resist what's happening around you, but in the back of your mind, just remind yourself and remember, everything's not what it appears to be right now, and there's got to be something in this for you, okay? Keep things simple right now. This might not be the time for you to take major action. You might not be able to change everything. Don't fight it, but expect that you're not being screwed over, that there's something in this for you, and a way is being paved, okay? So yeah, this is the key. So now let's look and ask, what is coming in for you? What opportunities are on the other side of this for you? Okay, so I think that this Mercury retrograde cycle is really gonna get you more in touch with yourself and who you are. Embrace your weirdness. I love that. On the other side of this Mercury retrograde cycle, you're going to be able to really walk away from this feeling healed and feeling rejuvenated. And I also feel like by the end of this Mercury retrograde cycle, you're going to have a very strong visualization of what it is that you want. So if you're not really sure what you want in your life right now, what you want to manifest, what your goals are, you just feel like you're putting out fires and just trying to survive, space is going to be created for you through this cycle for you to be able to like have a visualization or like a light bulb moment or get a download of like what your path is going to be. So you're going to be able to visualize that. So this is saying allow it. Allow water. That's so interesting. It's just like allow this process to cleanse you, to strip you, to purify you. And it's a really weird path right now for you, but it's all going to end somewhere beautiful. So let's see where that is. Final message to you. Final message to you about this Mercury retrograde cycle. Woo! Transformation. Look at this card. Wow. Okay. So, here is your final message. This card does not represent physical death. Every transformation is a new beginning, so don't waste energy on trying to stop the inevitable. You are simply ready to let go of more unnecessary baggage. This card hints at a long overdue disengagement from certain situations and sometimes even the departure of certain people. However, in its highest aspect, this image represents the soul's longing to be born anew. This can only happen when needless structures and mental veils crumble or fall. So your final message here is don't cling to a single thing. Allow everything to disperse itself. Even if it seems unbearable at first, you are simply creating more space to accommodate some important newcomers in your life. Your sense of being forsaken will soon turn into joy. But the ego wants to avoid transformation. It fears the new. It tenaciously clings to the familiar. The ego exists in prolonged stagnation and death-like boredom. It would rather do that than surrender to what it can never know, thereby causing much more pain, of course. But you have the courage and understanding to welcome profound changes. Do not postpone this transition. It is a transformation. I don't know about you, but this creeped me out. That's literally all the message I was just getting. So yeah, I feel like this card overall is just telling you that this transformation is a new beginning for you. Don't try to stop the inevitable. You're ready to let go of more baggage. There could be certain situations or certain people leaving your life right now. Your soul just wants to be born anew. Don't cling to anything right now. Allow everything to disperse itself. You're creating more space right now for the things that you do want in your life, for like a new vibe, a new level. Our ego wants to avoid this, so we're going to do all sorts of weird stuff to try to stop this process, and we're going to hate it, and it's going to feel so uncomfortable and frustrating. That's like the worst part of Mercury retrograde. But this is telling you, you have the courage and understanding to like welcome these changes. You're going through a transformation and it's going to be beautiful. So I hope that this message resonates with you. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Peace out. So for those of you guys who choose number 2, let's just see like what's going down for you in this Mercury retrograde cycle, and then like what are the blessings and the lessons you're gonna glean on the other side of this cycle. So I'm simply just gonna split this deck and pull a card. So we're getting the moon. The moon. Oh my goodness. So this is a card of very, very deep emotion. This is a very emotional process that you're going through right now. Very, very emotional. So this is talking about how this Mercury retrograde cycle is causing you to feel very disillusioned. You might be feeling a lot of disappointment right now. So you're being crushed by some type of big disappointment. Someone or something that you really counted on is letting you down, and you're just like completely devastated. And it's very, very difficult for you. Very, very difficult. It feels like a time of crisis. There's delays on the arrival of certain things in your life. I'm seeing something about documents or mail or contracts. There's delays, like you're not getting the answer that you wanted or something like that. And you're feeling just very muddled and very troubled. You feel like you can't see your way out. You can't see clearly on any level. And you're having this feeling like you're losing out or you're being disappointed. And furthermore, you're very disillusioned right now by other people's actions, other people's words, other people's deeds. You might be called out by somebody unfairly. There's misunderstandings, there's strife, there's conflict, there's confusion, there's despair. Old wounds are coming up, grudges are revealing themselves. So it's really challenging. You're being challenged. Certain things are feeling very hopeless in your life right now. You just feel very devastated. I just keep getting that message. There's a lot of unforeseen changes and unexpected occurrences happening around you. It's like you're being called to just let things be the way they are, accept them as they are. And I'd see all of this changing eventually. This is telling you you can't run from this problem. The only way out of this situation is through it. Remember that there's a law of balance that operates in the universe. This law of balance demands equality. For every win, there must be a loss. For every happiness, a sadness. For every positive move, a negative challenge. You can't have one without the other. It would be like trying to separate day from the night. So overall, this is a card telling you that change is going to bring a new perspective and a new you. By putting your pessimism and your insecurities behind you, you're going to become a much stronger and a much happier person. So let's see if we can get some more details, okay? So that sounds a little intense, it's kind of what we expected. It's Mercury retrograde. So what are you really struggling with right now? What else are you struggling with? What's going on? I don't know why, but I'm feeling called to use this deck, which I barely use because it's just a deck that I made and scribbled on. It's just very in the moment and kind of silly, but I feel like there's a message in here for you guys. This is my personal deck. Okay, so you have a fear. Right now what's coming to light is a fear. A fear of being put down, a fear of being shamed, for who you are. And this happened in the past. Maybe you dealt with bullying or people in your family that just weren't very helpful, or friend group or an ex or something. And so this is coming up and you just feel very discouraged. And there's a message here to let this go. Continue to be you. Continue to be who you are, because this ridicule that you experience has nothing to do with you. You're being called to claim domain over your areas of expertise. You're being called to really brand yourself, set yourself apart from the crowd, and let who you are and all that you have to offer become your brand. Letting yourself be known. So this process is going to help you to become more proud of who you are. It's going to help you to be more proud of your beauty, your gifts, your art, and everything that you do, because it's unique and it's very needed at this time on the planet. So it's right now you're working up the courage to be who you are and to feel safe in that. And that's what this process is all about. But it just feels very confusing right now. So I feel any structure that isn't supportive to that is crumbling away. Any people that aren't supportive of that are crumbling away. So yeah. Overall though, let's see what is in it for you in this Mercury retrograde cycle. Like, what are the blessings? What are you going to come out of this on the other side with? So this Mercury retrograde cycle is going to teach you how to be very flexible. I think the next time things start to fall apart in your life after this cycle, you're going to be really excited. You're not going to be as afraid of this falling apart, you know, or these deep emotions or these fears that come up, because you're going to spend this Mercury retrograde cycle really confronting this side of yourself and being very compassionate. I feel like compassion, like self-compassion, has a lot to do with not judging yourself and not blaming yourself. Like, you're gonna come out on the other side feeling very proud of yourself and feeling very like a lot more love for yourself, like a different level of intimacy with yourself. You're gonna clearly be able to see your goals and see like progress that's going to be made through your goals. And you're gonna have a very strong connection with your purpose after this cycle ends here in a couple weeks. So maybe that's why it's like a very intense energy, because there's a really amazing opportunity coming on the other side of this for you. I love that. So let's pull a final message from this deck here and get your message. Ace of Fire. I love this card, it's so beautiful. So Ace of Fire. Whoa, that was weird. I opened straight to the page. Did you see that? What? Okay. So the message here is, these flames are sacred, not merely a sign of rising strength. They also hint at the possibility of a higher spiritual awakening. You now have access to an internal reservoir of sustained, fiery power. Use it to expand your horizons. As you master the tasks that the new phase in your life brings, your consciousness will expand even further beyond anything you can now conceive. Forge ahead full steam and with great confidence. For the moment, nothing can stop you from manifesting your vision. You are riding a wave of fresh, enthusiastic energy. What you embark on now will be successful, be it a project or a relationship. William Blake puts it perfectly. Energy is delight. Aliveness is sheer bliss. Just being aware of the life force within you can make you ecstatic. In a state of exhaustion, nothing looks promising because there's no energy left to motivate and uplift you. But charged with high energy, we become aware of the natural bliss that is constantly filling us. Use this opportunity. Flow with this vibrant stream of newfound power. So wow, I'm just getting a message like what's gonna happen on the other side of this cycle for you is that like through this cycle, you're basically being charged with energy. I also got another message that a lot of you guys feel like you've already been through your spiritual awakening and like it's over and you left that behind, but it's almost like now you're going through it again. Like this part where it said a higher spiritual awakening, that's what I'm really sensing like you're going through. And so it's really intense. It's like really intense. But there's a message telling you to use this energy to expand your horizons. You're going to be mastering this time in your life. There's a new phase coming. Your consciousness is expanding. There's going to be a fresh, enthusiastic energy on the other side of this. You're going to be feeling blissful to be alive. You're going to get your fire back, okay? This is an opportunity in disguise. nothing's gonna stop you from manifesting your vision. Not even this little Mercury retrograde cycle you're going through. So this is telling you, forge ahead full steam and with great confidence. Nothing can stop you. I hope that this message resonated with you. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.